Amar Rabbi Yosef, Hashtag da'anon tnan hachi. Now that we have the Mishnah as it is now, V'chi asra Rabbi Yitzchak tana hachi, and Rabbi Yitzchak came along, he didn't switch the shitos. Shema mina dafka tnan. I will say it would appear that the version of our Mishnah is precise and correct. Ella kasha. But one second, but what do we do with the fact that Rabbi Meir doesn't hold Michlal Lav Ata Shamei Ahin? To which the Gemara says, Ki lesle b'mamona. When does Rabbi Meir not subscribe to this principle? In monetary matters. Bi'isura islay. When it comes to matters of Isra, however, he does subscribe to this. What about Hari Sota Disuru? So what about the case of Sota? Sota is a case of Isser, yet Va'amra B'Tanchum Bar Chachinoi, Hinoki Ksiv, or Hinki Ksiv. Taima D'Chsiv Hinki, Halav Haki, Michlalav Ata Shomeahin, La Amrina. So we'll say, without getting into the entire drasha right now, the Gemara by Sota writes Hinki. So the way the Gemara darshans is it's Hinki, which could also be vocalized as Chinki. So I will say Hinki means Hinaki, you shall be cleansed, which meaning if she's innocent, she shall be cleansed, versus Hinaki or Chinki, which means if you are guilty, you will be killed. So we'll say the idea over here is that from the same word we're able to go ahead and have the positive and the negative. But it's only because the Torah writes it like this. Without that type of verbiage, you would not infer a negative statement from a positive one. And I will say that's a case of Isser, Amud Beis, Ela Efoch. Therefore, again, I will say you have to go ahead and switch around the shitos. To which the Gemara says, Afilu bi Isura lesle. You have to say that even in a case of Isser, ultimately, again, Rabbi Meir does not subscribe to this idea. Maske Ravina says, is that really true? Ubi Isura lesle. Is that true that he doesn't hold Mechlalav Tashamehin in a case of Isser? Elameata shtuye yainu preirosh dibemisa hachanamid lesli Rabbi Meir. So we'll say, what about the case of shtuye and preirosh? So we'll say shtuye yain means a kohen goes in to do the avoda after he has consumed wine. Or preirosh, we'll say ultimately again is that he allows his hair to grow. So we'll say, so if you look at Rashi for just a moment, top Rashi and the daf shtuye yain dibemisa lo sham'in Allah ela mehain michlal lav. So we'll say, interestingly enough, how do we know that if a kohen goes ahead and enters into the Beis HaMikdash and does the avoda under the influence, that he's going to be chayiv misa? The Torah never states that explicitly. What does the Torah say? Dichsiv yayin v'shecher al teisht v'lo samusu. We'll say the pasuk says wine and any intoxicating beverage you shall not drink v'lo samusu, and you will not die. Ha im tishtu v'vachem v'lo. What do we infer from that? We infer from that if you do drink it, then what? You will die. So I'll say that's a case of Michlal Lav Ata Shomea Hein, or really this is Michlal Hein Ata Shomea Lav. From a positive statement, you infer a negative one. From a positive statement, you infer a negative one. So I'll say, so you see, remember again, we're trying to figure out if Rabbi Meir subscribes to this principle or not. What we established essentially was as follows. Right now, where we're up to is Rabbi Meir does not subscribe to Michlal Lav Ata Shomea. He does not say that you can infer negative statements from positive ones. And again, we're saying that in all cases. That's his shita across the board. Now the Gemara is raising a kasha to that. But one second. What about the case of Shtuye Yayin or Purei Rosh Rabosai, where ultimately, again, those prohibitions are not explicitly stated. Rather, what? Those prohibitions are actually learned out from positive statements. The Torah says, "You shall wine and intoxicating beverage you shall not drink, and you will not die." From that, we infer that what Rabbi is saying, if you do drink it and enter into the basement of avoda, you will die. That's Michlal Hein Ata Shomea Lav. Yet again, even Rabbi Meir agrees with this principle. To which the Gemara says, "Hachanamid lesle Rabbi Meir." You're going to say Rabbi Meir doesn't subscribe to this, but now we learned in the Mishnah, Elu Shivimisa. We'll say these are the people ultimately again who are put to death. Shtuye Yaina Purerosh. Ultimately, again, a kohen who goes in to do the avoda under the influence, or purerosh with unkempt hair. So we'll say the idea over here is even Rabbi Meir subscribes to this idea, which means that Rabbi Meir does learn Michlal Hein Ata Shomea Lav, to which the Gemara says Elali Olam Seifuch. Rather, you have to turn around the shitos. Ki lesle b'mamona bi'isura islay. We'll say really, when does Rabbi Meir say that you can't infer a positive statement or a negative statement from a positive one, or vice versa? When does he hold that you can't infer? That's in monetary cases. However, Isura, but I will say in cases of prohibition, Rabbi Meir will agree that Michlal Lav Ata Shomea Hein, Michlal Hein Ata Shomea Lav. What about Sota? The shiny Sota, the Isura, the Ispe Mamono. We'll say sota is a bit different. Why? Because even though we classically look at sota as a monetary case, as an isser case, as a prohibitory case, a prohibition case, but lamaisa there's a strong financial component as well. Why? Rashi points out over here. Shiny sota the is beimamonahu gevias ksuvasa. Ultimately, again, I will say in a case ultimately of collection of ksuva. Therefore, again, I will say collection of ksuva makes it a monetary case. So so bottom line, what it comes down to is as follows. What it comes down to is the Mishnah records a view. The Mishnah records a view which the Mishnah originally attributes to Rabbi Meir, but then ultimately seems to switch to the Chachamim, ultimately telling us as follows, that under normal circumstances, the way a Shevuah works is with a negative statement, right? A Shevuah is a prohibitory statement. What happens if you phrase the Shevuah in the positive way? HaKadosh Baruch Hu shouldn't curse you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should do good for you if you come and testify for me, which we infer means what? That if you don't come and testify for me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should punish you. Does such a Shevuah work? So we'll say this is a machlokes in the Mishnah. Now, again, the way we end up is that Rabbi Meir himself holds of Michlal Lavat Hashem that you could infer statements, but only by cases of Isser, not by cases of Mammon. At the end of the day, Rabbi said the way Rambam Paskins is that halacha l'maisa, again, a positive statement will not work for the case of Shevuah. In order for Shevuah to be binding, Rabbi said it has to be phrased in the negative. We don't infer positive statements. We don't infer negative statements ultimately again from positive statements. Good. Hadron aloch Shevuah Seder. So we'll say Mazel Tov. New parak. Shevuah Sapikado. We'll say again. We've made reference to this before, but now we're going to spend a significant amount of time in this particular area. So we'll say Shevuah Sapikado is a very simple case. I deposit something with Ruvain. Say whatever, Ruvain, watch my computer, whatever it is. And what happens? I come to go ahead and get back that object from Ruvain. Ruvain claims that what will say he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it, right? He just no. I don't know what you're talking about. So we'll say so again. Shvuah sapikadon is where again lemaisa we go ahead and he takes a shvuah that he does not have access to or he does not have the pikadon. So it says the Gemara shvuah sapikadon. No hages ba'anashim ubenashim. So we'll say if shvuah sapikadon applies to men and to women. So also what this means applies to men and women means that the person who had the pikadon has to swear, whether man, woman, berechokim, krovim, relatives, non-relatives, ksherim, psulim, people who are kosher, people who aren't kosher, bifnei bezdin v'shelo bifnei bezdin v'shelo bifnei bezdin. So I'll say ultimately again, whether the shua takes place in front of bezdin or not in front of bezdin, piatzmo. In other words, that if I'm swearing myself, I can take the shua sapikadon in front of bezdin or not in front of bezdin. Umi piachirim, I will say again, if the shvuah is being administered by others. Remember again, the case of piachirim is where someone else is articulating the shvuah and I answer amen. So if the shvuah is being administered by piachirim, eno chayiv achich barenu bebeizin div Rabbi Meir. So we'll say Rabbi Meir holds that if it's a shvuah piatzma, if I'm taking the shvuah myself, I can take that shvuah in front of Bezdin or not in front of Bezdin. However, in Rabbi Meir's model, if the shvuah is being administered by another, then the mais again then that has to take place in Bezdin itself. The Chachamim say, "Bein mi piatzmo, bein mi piachirim, kevan shekafar bo chayiv." So also the Chachamim on the other hand hold that no, whether I'm taking the shvuah on my own or being adjured by others, once I go ahead and I deny my responsibility for the pikadon, I will say whether that denial takes place in the presence of Bezdin, not in the presence of Bezdin, ultimately again I will be chayiv. Fine. V'chayiv al zedon hashvua va'al shegagasa im zedon hapikadon. So also listen to this. What's the case of zedon shvua? Right, literally mezi by shua. So if you look at Rashi like halfway down in the new parak Rashi, v'chayiv al zedon shvua d'lo ksiv behu v'ne'alam. Zedon Shvuah, Shezachar ala Pikadon v'yodeh shemechayiv al kfiraso kamas. Let's listen to this. The case of Zedon Shvuah, I will say, is as follows. I'm knowingly lying. I'm lying. Right? Reuven says, give me back my computer. I say, I don't know what you're talking about. And I swear, Reuven never entrusted me with the computer. So we'll say, I know that I'm lying. And I also know that for a violation of a Shvuah Sapikadon, I am chayiv a karban. We'll say, that is called Zedon HaShvuah. It's not a Shavuos. So we'll say, amazingly enough, I am still going to be chayiv a karban even in that case. Even though by the other cases of Shavuos, you normally only chayiv a karban if what? If you accidentally swear falsely. Here I will be chayiv even if I intentionally swear falsely. We'll see why. Rashi already points out, because the pasuk doesn't say v'ne'elam. The pasuk doesn't say and the matter was hidden from me or obscured from me. So therefore, even if I'm intentionally lying and violating the shvuah, I'm chayiv. That's the don shvuah. V'al shigagasa im zidon apikadon. I'll say, what's shigagasa im zidon apikadon? I'll say, this is a case, ultimately, again, where I know that I had the pikadon, I know I had the computer, so I'm lying about the pikadon, but I'm b'shogeg about the punishment for a false shvuah. I didn't realize that a false shvuah was ultimately chayiv a karban. So we'll say that's called zidon hapikadon. I'm a zodon, or I should say, hashigasim zidon hapikadon. I'm intentionally lying regarding the deposit. I know that I have it, but I'm a shogeg on the shvuah. In other words, I didn't know the shvuah was chayiv a karban. Ve'eno chayiv al shigagasa gredasa. I will say, if the case is a full-fledged shogeg, right? I will say, at the end of the day, meaning Reuven claims he deposited the computer with me. I mamish have absolutely no recollection of that event. No recollection. So when I swear to that effect, I'm not lying. I just mamish thought that at the end of the day, I'm swearing correctly. In that case, ultimately, again, I'll be pater. Uma chayiv azdon. And both say, when we say that you're chayiv, what type of karban are you chayiv for a false Shevuos hapikadon? Asham bekesef shkalim. We'll say chayiv on asham that is worth at least 2 shkalim. Shevuos hapikadon cases. So we'll say, what is the case of Shevuos hapikadon? Amar lo teimli pikdon shish biyadecha. I go over to her and I say, Reuven, give me the deposit, give me the item that I gave to you. And what happens? Reuven says, Shevuos she'in lecha biyadi. Reuven says, I swear I have nothing of yours. Osha amar lo ein lecha biyadi. Right? And or Osha amar lo ein lecha biyadi. Or I go over to her and say, Reuven, give me my computer. And Reuven says to me, I don't have anything of yours. And I say, Mashvi acha ani. I say, fine, I hereby adjure you. Right? And I pose the shua on you, Amar amen. And Reuven says, amen. Although Rabbi we say it's not just amen, but rather what is it? Amen, amen. Right? Tarei zechayiv. Ultimately, again, Reuven will be chayiv. So this is the case of Shevuos hapikadon. Hishpi alav chamish pam. We'll say, what happens if I adjured Reuven 5 times? Bein bifnei beizin, bein shelo bifnei beizin. Whether it's in front of Beis Din, not in front of Beis Din, chayiv akalachas achs. And we'll say Reuven denies each and every claim. He will be chayiv. He will be chayiv ultimately again for each and every denial. And we'll say now, why is that? Why is that? Rabbi Shimon matam mipnei sheyachol lachzor lehodos. Because almost at the end of the day, he has the ability to admit. Meaning, even though he took the first false shvuah, he has the ability to admit his crime or his falsehood. Second one, third one, fourth one. Because he has the ability to go ahead and change his story after every shvuah. Therefore, what? Every false shvuah that he takes is going to be chayiv. Hayu chamisha tovim also. Well, listen to this. If, let's say, there are 5 people who come to Reuven with 5 different claims. Each of them claim that they deposited something with him. And what happens? Amru lo, tein lanu pikadon sheish la biyadecha. And each of them say to him, again, we'll say they each are claiming their own personal deposits. Right? Give me back. They each say, give us back our deposits. And he says to them, Shvuah, she'ein lachem biyadi, right, biyadi. He says, he makes them say one general Shvuah. I swear, I don't have anything that belongs to any of you. And I will say, it turns out that what? That he's lying. So we'll say, because he made one general Shvuah, therefore what? He will only be chayiv once. However, Shvuah she'ein lecha biyadi v'lo lecha, chayiv ha'kol achas za'achas. But I will say, if he says, I swear that I don't have anything of yours, and I swear that I don't have anything of yours, and I swear that I don't have anything of yours, he'll be chayiv on each individual shor. Belazar Omer, ad shiyomar shvuah ba'achrona. What Rabbi Elazar says, in order for him to be chayiv on each individual shvuah, the word shvuah has to come at the end of his statement. Look at Rashi for just a moment. Rashi says shvuah ba'achrona. It's about 3 lines up, 4 lines up, before the lines of Rashi get wide. So he says, in shvuah ba'achrona, in lecha biyadi lo lecha v'lo lecha b'shvuah. But Rabbi Elazar says he has to put the shvuah at the end. Right? I have nothing, right? In lecha biyadi, I have nothing of yours, I have nothing of yours, I have nothing of yours, b'shvuah, and I swear to it. So see, when he puts the word shvuah at the end, that makes each of the individual previous statements, makes each of the previous statements into individual statements. Rabbi Shimon says, Ad sheyomar shvuah l'chol echad ve'echad. Rabbi Shimon says, no, he has to actually say Shevuah, teaching everyone. Shevuah she'en l'cha biyadi, Shevuah she'en l'cha biyadi, Shevuah she'en l'cha biyadi. Next, we'll say, actually, some of these cases we quoted already. Tein pikadon utshum esyad v'gezel v'aveli sheish leviyadecha. So we'll say, I go over to Reuven, and I essentially claim against Reuven that Reuven has multiple items that belong to me. So I tell him, give me the pikadon, give me the loan, give me the item you stole, give me the object you found. Others will say, I'm claiming that he has 4 different items that belong to me. And what happens? Shvuah she'en l'cha biyadi. And Reuven says, I swear I have nothing of yours. I will say, it turns out that what? He's lying about all 4 things. But what's the halacha? Because he only made one shvuah, einu chayiv ela achas. We'll say he's only chayiv once. However, shvuah she'en l'cha biyadi, we'll say first wide line, shvuah she'en l'cha biyadi pikadon, utshum esyad, v'gezel v'aveda, chayiv al kol achas achas. But I will say, if he makes item-specific shvuas, I swear I don't have A, I swear I don't have B, I swear I don't have C, I swear I don't have D, then he's going to be chayiv for each and every shvuah. Tein lichitin usaron v'kusin sheish leviyadecha. So let's listen to this. I go over to her and say, Reuven, go ahead and give me the wheat, the barley, and the spelt that you have in your hands. So shvuah she'en l'cha biyadi, and Reuven makes a general shvuah, and he says, I have nothing of yours. So einu chayiv ela achas, he's only going to be chayiv once. However, shvuah she'en l'cha biyadi, chitin soren v'kusmin, chayiv akol achas v'achas. I will say, if he makes an item specific shvuah, now why we need to restate the same case twice, we'll see in the Gemara. I will say, but the idea over here is if I make an item specific shvuah, I will be chayiv for each and every one. Right? Mir amar afilu amar chita soren v'kusemes, chayiv akol achas v'achas. So we'll say, ultimately again, even if he just says chita usaora v'kusemes, so we'll see in the Gemara ultimately what sorry, just lost the place. Right, we'll see in the Gemara what Rabbi Meir is coming to be Mosif. Anasta upasita esbiti. So also what happens? Reuven goes over to Shimon, and Reuven says to Shimon, Shimon, you went ahead and you violated or you seduced my daughter. V'hu omer lo anasti v'lo pasiti. I did not violate or I did not seduce your daughter. Mashbi'acha ani. So Reuven adjures Shimon to this effect. V'amar amen. And Shimon says amen. So we'll say, what happens? What happens? It turns out that Shimon's lying. Shimon did seduce or violate Reuven's daughter. What's the halacha? We'll say chayiv. Ultimately, again, Shimon will be chayiv. Rabbi Shimon poter. Why? She'inu m'shalim knas al piatzmo. We'll say that Rabbi Shimon says you're poter. Why? We'll say because as we'll see in the Gemara, these are cases of knas, right? Knas. So remember again we spoke about a few days ago the distinction between mammon and knas. Mammon is a monetary payment. Knas is pretty much any fixed payment. So remember, the Torah imposes a financial penalty in addition to the other penalties for a man who violates or seduces a woman, a basula. So we'll say that is a fixed amount because that's a knas. So essentially, Reuven's going over to Shimon. He's claiming a knas. Shimon lies. Shimon lies under oath. He says, "I didn't do anything." It turns out that he's lying. So we'll say, what's the halacha? The halacha is so. The first opinion in the Mishnah says that he's chayiv. Rabbi Shimon says you're pater. Why? She'inu m'shalim knas al piatzmo. Because we will say, since when it comes to knas, right? Mod b'knas pater. If Shimon were to admit what he did, he would what? He would be pater from the financial penalty. So because of that, he can't be held responsible. Ultimately, again, for a false shavua that he takes. Look at Rashi. I will say it's the first wide line in Rashi. She'inu m'shalim knas al piatzmo. Since if he were to admit to knas, he would not be liable to pay. Therefore, I will say when he denies this, he is not denying a monetary. Remember again what we spoke about by Shevuos Sa'idos Rabosai, by Shevuos Sa'idos, or again we'll see by other cases of Shvua as well. This is not Shevuos Sa'idos, but other cases of Shvua. We'll say one is only chayiv for tvias mamon. Right, one is only chayiv ultimately when there's a monetary claim. What the Gemara is suggesting over here is that Lamaisa, again, this is a case of where he's being claimed on a knas. Right, there's a penalty payment being claimed over here. The Gemara is suggesting that when he denies a penalty payment, ultimately, when he denies a penalty payment, he will be pater for the violation of the shvur. So the Gemara goes weiter. So the Gemara says, Amru lo, they said to Rabbi Shimon, Afa pishen mishalim knas al piatzmo, mishalim boshes upigam al piatzmo. I will say it's true that even though again he will not have to pay the knas, but I will say there are other payments like boshes and pegam, which will also means again we'll discuss what this means, the humiliation and pigam payments, Rabosai, which ultimately again are considered mamon, in which halacha lamais again he would have to pay. Ganafta shori. So we'll say we're going to see a whole bunch of cases of knas. I'll do this quickly. Ganafta shori. I go to Reuben, you stole my ox. V'omer lo ganafti. I didn't steal a mashiachani. I make him swear. V'omer amein chayiv. So we'll say it turns out that he lied. So ultimately he's going to be chayiv. Ganafti avalo tavachti v'lo macharti. So Reuben says it's true. I stole it, but lamaisa I didn't slaughter it or sell it. Mashbi'acha ani. I make him swear to that effect. V'omer amein. Potter. We'll say because again remember. For selling it and for slaughtering and selling it, Rabbi say, what do you get? You get Abra Vechamisha, 4 and 5 type penalty payments. That's Knas. So if he denies the Knas Rabbi say, he will not be Chayiv. Hemis Sharcha Eshori. I claim Ruvain, your ox killed my ox. Yomer lo Hemis. And I say, and he says it didn't happen. Mashbi Achami, I adjure him. Amar Amen. He says Amen. And Rabbi say, it turns out that he's lying. Chayiv. Because Rabbi say he denied a claim of Mammon. Hemis Sharcha Es Avdi. But if I claim your ox killed my Evet, Rabbi say, which is a case of Knas, and he says, no, never happened. Mashbiach, and I make him serve Amr. I mean, he agrees. And it turns out that he's lying. Pater. But say ultimately again, he will be pater for the denial of a knas claim. Amr lo, chabaltabi, va'asisa bi chabura. I claim Ruvain, you hurt me, right? You wounded me. V'hol omer lo chavalti v'lo asisi b'cha chabura. And he says, I didn't do anything to you. Mashbiachani, I adjure him, v'amar, and he says, and it turns out that he lied. Chayiv, because we'll say he denied mammon. However, Amr lo avdo, he palte shinai, v'simisi as eni. But if my slave comes over to me, my Eved Kanani, and he says, you knocked out my eye, you knocked out my tooth, which I will say is a knas, is a penalty that an Eved goes free for that. V'omer lo palte v'lo simisi, and the Adon says, I never did anything like that. Mashmiachani, he adjures him, v'amra amin, and the Adon agrees to the Shevuos, and it turns out that he's lying, he didn't do it. Pater, we'll say ultimately he's pater. We'll say, so bottom line, we'll conclude with this. Zak lal, we'll say this is the general principle. We'll say any time that I would have to pay based on my own admission, I will be chayev, Rabbi say, in that case for taking a false Shevuos, right? For going ahead and denying the claim under oath. Rabbi say, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, any time whereby admitting, I go ahead and I pater myself from the monetary obligation to pay, like in a case of knas, the Rabbi say ultimately again I will not be chayiv for the false Shevuos. The Rabbi say we'll stop over here. We'll pick up a minute with the Gemara tomorrow.
When he says he doesn't